Yo, what is up with y'all boys and girls, man? Hey, it's Jay Briggs here, continuing to cook up this NBA action. Y'all know what we do around the jam session. We cook up every single game, every single day. I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of lonely yesterday, man. No hoops, wasn't talking with my guys. I felt kind of out of place, man, but we're back on a money making Wednesday. Huge card today, 14 games. Hey, y'all know I'm finna cook up every last one of them for you guys right here, right now. If you appreciate the content, smash that like button for your guy. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you rocking with me, rock with me, man. I'm active on Twitter all day. There's a link for that in the description, man. Follow me there. And then, of course, I'm locked and loaded over on the premium side, man. Huge card today. We had a really profitable day on Monday, and we look to keep the momentum rolling forward into today, man. So if you rocking with me, rock with me, man. Let's make some money on this beautiful money making Wednesday. And without further ado, man, let's hop right into tonight's NBA action. First game up, we got the Washington Wizards out on the road facing the Charlotte Hornets. Hornets home favorites laying 3.5 at the crib. Hey, not one of my favorite games tonight. Huge card. Don't gotta force anything. Sidewise, I don't think there's enough meat on the bone here for me. I mean, the Hornets are slightly the better team, but I don't like laying points with bad teams, and I think that's what Charlotte is. So, I'm not really trying to chase there with the Hornets. Getting points with the Wizards, I guess, would be my lean here in a 50-50 type game. You know, trying to get points or attacking the plus money, I guess, is not a bad place to be. If I were to play this game, though, I would probably look at the total. 240.5 is high, but I think it's high for a reason. When we think of these two teams, what do we think of? Scoring, LaMelo, volume type scores. Jordan Poole, Kyle Kuzma, Gordon Hayward, Terry Rozier, guys that are trying to put the ball in the bucket. Defense is an afterthought with most of these guys. Not overcomplicating it. When I think these two teams, I think points, points, points. High total, high for a reason. Rather than chase a side, I would look at a total over here to begin our night. Hornets, Wizards. Next game up, we got the Utah Jazz out on the road facing the Indiana Pacers. Pacers laying 6.5 at the crib. Look, in this game, it really comes down to Utah. Utah has struggled on the road this season. We just saw them get their doors blown off by Chicago. Minnesota took them behind the woodshed, 123-95. Denver beat them, 110-102. The Suns took them behind the woodshed. The Utah Jazz have really struggled on the road this season. They've been competitive at the crib. On the road, they've struggled. I think they struggle again here. Indiana, they're comfortable at home. This is going to be their fifth home game in their last 6 games. We just saw them running gun San Antonio right out of the gym. Halliburton's playing well. Hey, I understand why the line is where it's at. I'm not trying to catch a falling knife with the Utah Jazz out on the road. Give me the Indiana Pacers. I'm going to lay the 6.5 here in this one. Next game up, we got the Boston Celtics out on the road facing the Philadelphia 76ers. Sixers home dogs, man, getting a 1.5 at the crib. I think this is one of the best games on tonight. Really one of the best games this week. We know these two teams hate each other, man. I'm on record saying the Celtics are the best team in the East. I think they get to the finals this season. I love the addition of Porzingis and Jrue Holiday. The thing is, I'm just not in a rush to fade Philly. I do think the Celtics are the better team. I lean their direction in this game, but I'm not in a rush to fade Philly. Hell, you see it right here on your screen. Philly is 6-0 against the number, 5-1 straight up. This is going to be their 5th straight home game. They've been hooping there. Plenty of games tonight on a beautiful Wednesday night. Fading Philadelphia doesn't have to be a spot we are. So rather than do that, I would look at the total. I would take an over. Both of these two teams have been scoring the rock, and defense has kind of been an afterthought. And I think that's what we see here. I think we see a lot of points. I think shots are going to be falling in this game. I think it's going to be a good, nice, competitive back-and-forth game, one of the best games on. And I think we get up and over this total. I think we get 115-ish apiece. That gets us to 230. I see that's about where we are. So over here for me, small lean to the Celtics, but again, not in a rush to fade the Sixers. Undefeated against the number thus far this season. Better place to be. That's how I feel. Next game up, we got the Los Angeles Clippers out on the road facing the Brooklyn Nets. Nets home dogs in this one, getting 4.5 at the crib. Hey, what did I tell you guys the other day? I look to fade the Clippers until they show me otherwise. We cashed the other night. Shout out the Knicks. And of course, we're taking the Brooklyn Nets plus the points here in this. We're also going to sprinkle on the money line. Hell, the Nets are 6-0-1 ATS, kind of like the Sixers. Hey, they're balling right now, especially. They're a money making team for us right now. We're going to ride until the wheels fall off. And I love the situation here, fading an overrated Clippers team, laying points on the road. It's just not a place I want to be with the Clippers. That's where they've struggled most this season, is out on the road. The Nets, I think they can keep this game close, if not win it outright. There's one basketball to go around in Los Angeles. Too many egos. Westbrook, Harden, Kawhi, Paul George. It didn't look that great in game one. I highly doubt it's going to look that great here in game two. Both teams kind of banged up. Still no Cameron Johnson. Lonnie Walker, game time decision. Still no Nick Claxton for the Clippers. Terrence Mann, game time decision. Plumlee not playing. So, a couple injuries. Role players. Short, sweet, simple for me in this one. I like the Nets. I'm not betting the Clippers. I really intend to fade this team more often than not until I see something from them. Next game up, we got the San Antonio Spurs out on the road facing the New York Knicks. Knicks laying 9.5 at the crib in this one. Huge number for the Knicks to be laying, but I understand why the line is where it's at. Here's why. This is going to be the Spurs' fifth road game in their last 6 games. We just saw them get run out of the gym in their last one by the Indiana Pacers. And also, their top 2 guards probably won't play in Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell. It all just sets up as a terrible spot for the Spurs. Remember, I know Wemby is a really nice player. We like Wemby here on the gym session. But the Spurs were one of the worst teams in the NBA last year. And it's going to take more than just Wemby to elevate this team to being, one of the best teams in the NBA. They're still one of the worst teams. And when their other key guys, Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, are injured, they're still a bad team. I understand why the line is where it's at. Again, it's a terrible spot for them. I think Jalen Brunson absolutely goes bananas if both those guys are out. And I could just see the Knicks extending the lead late, winning this game by like 12 to 15 points. Not overcomplicating this one. I think the Knicks win this game comfortably. I see them winning it by double digits. We just saw the Spurs get run out the gym by the Indiana Pacers. I would not be surprised at all if the New York Knicks did the exact same thing. Next game up, we got the Phoenix Suns out on the road facing the Chicago Bulls. Bulls, home favorites, laying 1.5 at the crib. I really don't even understand this line. The Bulls, in my mind, are terrible. They've been terrible for your pocketbook already to begin the season, as you see on your screen. 2-6 against the number. Why are they favored here? Only thing I can think of is A, an overreaction to the Devin Booker news of being out, and B, because people just love the Chicago Bulls. In my mind, the Devin Booker-less Suns are still better than the Bulls by a pretty nice margin, in my opinion. I think the Suns come out here and hoop. Y'all know me, man. I love fading the Bulls. We've been profitable doing it thus far this season. We're not shaking it up. I'm taking the Suns plus the 1.5, or I'm going to take them straight up money line. I just don't see the Bulls winning this game. I know they just beat up on the Jazz 131-13, but they had lost 3 straight prior to that to teams that are just flat out better than them. And I think the Suns are just another team that's just flat out better than them. I'm taking Phoenix out on the road here against Chicago. Next game up, we got the Lake Show out on the road facing the Houston Rockets. Rockets home dogs in this one, getting 2.5 at the crib. The Rockets have kind of turned their little season around. It's still early, way early, but they're back to 500, man. They've now won 3 straight, all 3 at home. This will be their 5th straight home game, this one here against the Lakers, but they beat Charlotte 128-119 and then beat Sacramento in back-to-back games at the crib. I will say, no De'Aaron Fox for the Kings in those games, but hey, still dubs nonetheless for the Rockets. A dub is a dub. Here's the thing here. I do think the Lakers are the better team. I do think the Lakers win this game, but I think there's better places to be than trying to bet the Lakers out on the road, a place where they've really struggled, going up against a Houston Rockets team that has played well at home here recently. Again, I think the Lakers win, but their struggles have been on the road. They just lost to Miami out there. Orlando beat up on them 120 to 101. Really took them on the woodshed, 19-point loss. Sacramento beat them out there 132 127. The Lakers have not hooped on the road. Not trying to catch a falling knife with them out on the road. I would look at a total here, 218.5. I would go under here in this one. Reason being, what do I think about the Lakers? I think they are more so a defensive team. A team are going to try to slow the pace down more so than who the teams the Rockets have played. The Rockets have played recently. Sacramento, offensive team. Charlotte, offensive team. I know they put up some points against them, but I don't think it means much. I see this as a slower paced game. I think this one falls underneath the total ultimately. Under Lakers, Houston for me here in this one. Next game up, we got the Miami Heat out on the road facing the Memphis Grizzlies. Grizzlies home dogs getting a point and a half here in this one. Tough game, really tough game. The Miami Heat are the better team. Y'all know how I feel about the Grizzlies. I think they suck this season. I think they're going to be terrible without John Morant. I think even when they get them, they're going to be too far gone and don't make the postseason. But in that same breath, y'all know one of my favorite teams to fade in the entire NBA is the Miami Heat. So makes this a tough game. Again, I do think the Heat are the better team. I do lean their direction in this one. Not one of my favorite games, but I really mainly look to continue to fade the Memphis Grizzlies. People think this is still a good team. A lot of people think they're going to turn it around. I am not one of those. I have been targeting this team most of the season and will continue to do that. Miami's main struggles are at the crib. That's mainly where they struggle at ATS, but they've struggled everywhere. They're 1-6 against the number, as you saw a minute ago. Small lean to the Heat. Not one of my favorite games. Not rushing to the window to bet this one, but I do think the Heat are the better team. They should go into Memphis and win this game. Next game up, we got the Detroit Pistons out on the road facing the Milwaukee Bucks. Bucks laying a huge number, laying 12.5 at the crib in this one. I do understand why the line is where it's at. Milwaukee at home, going up against a team that they are head and shoulders better than. The thing here is, I don't want to lay points with Milwaukee. We talked about it the other day. They're one of the worst defensive teams in the league. I haven't looked here recently, but the other day they were the 30th rated defensive team in the NBA. And I doubt much has changed in these 2-3 days. So they're that bad defensively, and laying double digits with them just seems like a terrible place to be. We were on the Pistons the other night against the Warriors. They had a lead with, 4 to 5 minutes left to go in that game. Still found a way to lose it by 11. Betting the Pistons is not always fun. Still a young team. They still throw away stupid turnovers, and it's frustrating to watch at times. But, again, laying double digits with the Milwaukee Bucks, one of the absolute worst defenses in the NBA, I think is a terrible place to be. Can they come out here and offensively just blow the Detroit Pistons off the court? Of course. They got two of the best offensive players in the game right now, Giannis Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard. But there's also a huge possibility they come out here and win this game by 7 to 8 points because defensively they couldn't get key stops. And I think the latter is more likely to happen. I like the points here with the Detroit Pistons. Until Milwaukee shows me that their defense is going to improve to cover big spreads, I look to fade them. They kind of remind me of my favorite team, the Dallas Mavericks, last season when they acquired Kyrie Irving. Really good offensively, can score with the best teams in the league. They're going to win a lot of games, but covering huge point spreads, I don't know if they got that in them. At least not yet. Give me the Pistons plus the points on this one. Next game up, we got the New Orleans Pelicans out on the road facing the Minnesota Timberwolves, a.k.a. the Minnesota House of Disappointment. Man, is this the spot where they disappoint a lot of people? I know a healthy amount of people laying the wood here with the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I understand why they are doing that and why some of you may want to do that. What have we seen from the Timberwolves thus far this season? They have hooped at home. This is also going to be their fifth home game in their last 6 games. And go back, let's look at the other 4. Smash Miami 106-90, double-digit win. Smash the defending champs 110-89, double-digit win. Smash the Utah Jazz 123-95, the second most profitable ATS road team last season in the NBA. And then just beat the last undefeated team in the NBA in the Boston Celtics 114-109 at the crib. Hey, they've been hooping at the crib. They're undefeated ATS at the crib. I understand why people are looking in the direction. Me personally, y'all know me, man. I'm not laying 7.5 with the House of Disappointment. So with that being said, I guess I lean in the direction to the Pelicans. It's a small lean. It's mainly just because I dislike the Timberwolves. I'm calling it a spade a spade. I'm being honest. I'm not laying 7.5 with Minnesota. This is a spot in my mind where I can see them falling flat. The thing here with the Pelicans and why I don't love it is McCollum's out for a while, and their two best defenders, Herbert Jones, probably won't play, and Jose Alvarado. Hey, when CJ McCollum, Zion, and Brandon Ingram all don't play, the Pelicans are just not the same. When all three of them are on the court together with those defenders, they're one of the best teams in the West. The problem is that's a rare sighting. So, not one of our favorite games tonight. I know I keep saying that, but it's the truth. I do like a lot tonight. I do and will have a healthy amount of premiums tonight, but it is what it is. Lean to the Pelicans. I would not lay 7.5 with the Timberwolves. They have hooped at home. I understand why people are there. Me personally, I ain't there. All right, in our next matchup of the night, we got the Cleveland Cavaliers out on the road facing one of our favorite money-making teams, the Oklahoma City Thunder Buddies. Thunder Buddies getting 2.5 at the crib. Hey, short, sweet, simple. Y'all know where we at. Of course, we're taking the Thunder Buddies here, plus the 2.5. We're also going to take them straight up on the money line. We already seen them beat this Cavs team once this season. They beat them in Cleveland, where Cleveland plays its best basketball. Last season, Cleveland was profitable ATS at the crib. That's where they did most of their damage. They've kind of struggled there to begin this season. They've struggled against the number 2-5. The Thunder Buddies, we've already seen them be a money-making team for us this season, 5-2 against the number. And these are the spots where they thrive at, these small home dogs. I don't know why the books haven't caught up to them yet. In my opinion, they're straight up the better team. I think they're straight up better than the Cavs. Hey, short, sweet, simple. Y'all knew this already, though. I'm taking the Thunder Buddies plus the 2.5. We're also going to take them straight up money line here in this one. All right, next game up, we got the Toronto Raptors out on the road facing my favorite team, the Dallas Mavericks. Man, Mavs laying 5.5 at the crib. I'm going to say the same thing I've been saying about both of these two teams. I don't think anything has really changed. So, the Raptors, I still think this is one of the worst Raptors teams in recent memory. What have we seen from the Raptors? At home, they'll hoop. On the road, they're terrible. I still think this team is headed for a blow-up sooner rather than later. I don't see them competing out here on the road. This team is still on the do not bet list. The Mavs, I think this team is not the same team from last year. I still think they have that same stigma, but they're not. Their chemistry has drastically improved. I love the addition of Lively and Grant Williams of offseason to improve that team chemistry. This team is not the same team from last year. They're playing much better basketball, and we've seen it translate already out onto the floor. They would have lost that Orlando Magic game last year. Flat out, they would have lost that game. They fought back, won, and covered. I think they beat up on a bad Toronto Raptors team at home. Raptors at home, they hoop. On the road, they're terrible. I think Dallas is head and shoulders the better team, playing good basketball right now. I expect them to win and cover in this spot. If you don't want to take the Mavs, don't take the Mavs. Don't cry to me. Fade them if you want to. I just think it's a terrible place to be tonight. I think the Mavs win this game by double digits in all honesty. That's how I see it. Can't be mad at me for how I see it. Next game up, man, we got the Golden State Warriors out on the road facing the defending champs, the Denver Chicken Nuggets, man. Denver laying 3.5 at the crib. Hey, short, sweet, simple in this one. You guys know what I'm finna say. What do the Nuggets do? They go stupid, dummy, crazy at the crib, man, especially in this late 9 o'clock window. I think they win and cover here. Fading the Warriors has not been fun this season. Trust me, I've been doing it, and I've lost quite a bit of money. The reason I've done that is because last season on the road, they were terrible. This is a team that only had 12 road wins all of last season. They just could not get it together on the road last year. They had a real point of emphasis on it, though, to begin this season, And it's kind of crazy. They've been terrible at home and have hooped out on the road. But tonight, it's a terrible spot for them. It's terrible. It's as bad as it gets. This is their 7th road game in their last 8 games, going up against a team that just refuses to lose at home. The Nuggets are like 44-8 in their last 50-some home games. The Nuggets do not lose at the crib. They invented stupid, dummy, crazy. I think they go stupid, dummy, crazy on the Warriors tonight. The Warriors, they're going to be better than they were last season. That is very evident to me already early this season. Curry is locked in. But I just think they fall short to a better team, to honestly still the best team in the NBA, the defending champs, at the crib, 9 o'clock window. We know what happens here, man. We all know what happens here. It's the reason why we invented it. The Nuggets go stupid, dummy, crazy. I'm going to lay the points with them here at home. In our last and final matchup of the night, we got the Portland Trail Blazers out on the road facing the Sacramento Kings. Kings laying 8.5 at the crib. The Kings are still the better team, even without De'Aaron Fox, but I'm not laying 8.5 with the Kings without De'Aaron Fox. Short, sweet, simple for me here in this one. I would look at grabbing the points with the Portland Trail Blazers. Hey, Portland, they're not that bad. Let's call a spade a spade. They're not that bad, man. They've won 3 of their last 4, really competed in 4 of their last 4, and I think they can compete here in this one. The Sacramento Kings, they did most of their hooping last year out on the road. They were the best road ATS team in the entire NBA last season. At home, they were, you know what I mean? They were I'm not trying to lay damn near double digits with a team that's and missing their best player against a team that's playing some of their best basketball that we've seen. So for me, small lean to the Blazers. I think they can keep this game competitive, keep it within the number. I'm not trying to lay that huge of a number with the Sacramento Kings in a place where A, they don't do most of their hooping, B, without their best player. It seems like a bad place to be. Small lean for me towards the Trailblazers, getting the points here in this one. And that's going to conclude this episode of my NBA Jam session. As always, I appreciate every last one of you guys watching this video. Smash that like button for your guy, man. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you're rocking with me, rock with me, man. I'm active on Twitter all day, man. Link for that in the description if you want to follow me there. Of course, I got premium plays over at the site, man. Huge card today. We have 14 games locked and loaded over there on the premium site, man. If you want those bets, you can scoop them up over there. And as I've been talking to you guys about, man, strictly for my big bettors out there, for the guys betting thousands of dollars on games, you guys send me your tickets all the time. And you guys have also asked me for a next level of premium service. Again, not for everybody, man. It's specifically for those bigger bettors that have asked me for that next level of premium service. If you want to figure out if this package is for you, that's what I want you to do. Text this number, 776-636-7674. Text Full Court Press, and we'll set up a time to talk to figure out if the package is for you. Again, it's for my bigger bettors out there. It's for the guys that want that next level premium service, that want a little more access to me. If it's for you, it's for you. If it's not, it's not. I still do the jam session. Still got premium plays. Scoop up all that, man. As always, I appreciate every last one of you guys. Let's make some money on this beautiful money-making Wednesday. It's been your guy, Jay Briggs, man. I'm out of here. See y'all soon. Peace.